Flo's jaw extended to unnatural proportions, and she emitted a screeching sound that echoed throughout the large tunnel. Eric pointed his own silenced gun at her. "One more inch and you'll be wearing a lampshade to your funeral. I know you still got a brain in there," Eric said. Flo remained crouched like a cornered cat. More importantly, she looked like she was thinking. Some mental process was going, that's all I knew. More predatory than human, arguably. Eric slid for the net slung over his back while keeping the gun trained on Flo. She seemed like she could sense what was about to happen, because she screeched and retreated into the darkness. Well, fuck, she's gone. Gone into a tunnel not even trained mercenaries are willing to go. Not even me, and I'm the best, Eric said. "What's the big deal with Flo?" I asked, one eye on the great blackness of the tunnel mouth. "Flo is special. She's not your regular infected. Sure, she looks feral, but she still has something going on upstairs. God only knows what that is, but it's more than most of the infected. She found a way to get out of those experimentation pens. Compared to her peers, that makes her a genius. And you want to study her for this reason?" Eric spit on the ground and moved a thoughtful hand through his stubble. Thoughtful green eyes stared back at me. "As far as we know, with all the experiments the eggheads have conducted down here, she's the only infected that has reacted that way. She's a genetic goldmine, and we need her alive. The dead decay too quickly. Twice dead, I mean. Anyway, you get the idea." Eric scanned the black mouth of the tunnel again, and I reflexively followed his gaze. The entrance to infinite blackness was stiflingly quiet. I asked him about the bio-bee he mentioned. Eric just chuckled. "Yeah, he's been here as long as Johan and the rest. He wants the infection to spread. Is he just an asshole? Maybe. But my intuition tells me he's got a deeper reason for doing what he's doing. Damned if I know what it is. Honestly, we don't know much about him. I'm a veteran with this kind of shit. This guy has evaded all attempts to uncover information about him. He's that good. Never seen anything like it." Then we both heard screeching from somewhere in the tunnel, and Eric motioned in the direction we came from. I followed without hesitation. The screeching seemed to come from multiple sources, so it wasn't practical to stick around. We'd have to capture Flo some other time. As we wandered the tunnels, I realized we had gotten lost, or more accurately, I didn't know where we were. Eric had the same stoic yet intense expression as usual. At least he wasn't disorientated. That was the last thing we needed. We found ourselves in another large tunnel, this one lined with metallic doors. I thought about Sarah then, and wondered if she might be behind one of them. I had been so wrapped up in the survival of the moment that I hadn't been able to think about her, or what she was doing down here and why she had lied to me. Maybe those answers would be more superficial than I realized, but I still wanted to pursue them. "You seem like you're distracted. Thinking about your wife?" I don't usually get along with eggheads, but she's probably the best of them. Kind and smart, resourceful. Trust me, she's fine. Absorbed in her work, but just fine. Once you're down here for a while, you'll appreciate the gravity of what she's doing. We heard screeching again. Funny thing was, I could see Eric's ear twitch at the sound. I guess it was a sign of someone in tune with his environment. Eric approached a fork in the tunnel. He stood for a minute, considering which one to take. I came up next to him, not really sure what to do. I was pretty confused and dependent on Eric for direction. More screeching from ahead of us. Eric backed up and motioned me to do the same. He readied his silent pistol. "Careful now," Eric whispered, giving me a look out of the corner of his eyes. I gripped my own pistol, glancing at Eric, then at the tunnel and back again. "Don't have such a tight grip, you'll probably fire at the ceiling when something comes popping out of the tunnel. Relaxed but firm, you know what I'm saying." Relaxed but firm, you know what I'm saying. The screeching continued, but what came out of the tunnel at first wasn't Flo. Instead, a man in a sleek black uniform with yellow, slightly furry shoulders emerged from the tunnel. He crouched and trained his own silenced weapon on us. "Bio-bee," Eric muttered. "It's him." Bio-bee just crouched at the fork in the tunnel. He cocked his head and spoke into something attached to those furry yellow shoulders. "Approach. Attack them and show no mercy. You know what no mercy means, Flo. It means kill," Bio-bee said, laughing. Flo came out of the tunnel. She walked on all fours, growling and showing her sharpened teeth. She made to attack us, but the red light on her collar turned from red to green. Disregard that order, Flo. Attack the man in black and yellow. Flo growled and turned around, her bloodshot eyes fixed on BioB, who now seemed unsure of himself. Do not pay attention to the other V, BioB started to say. Flo lunged before he could finish, but BioB fled into the darkness. I could hear his screams mixed with the screeching sound that I now associated with Flo. Several minutes elapsed between BioB fleeing and Flo's return, after she moved slowly out of the darkness, and she just sat there, more like a trained dog than a feral zombie. Hello, Eric. A voice emanating from Flo's collar said, I presume you have a friend with you. Bring him to my office. We need to discuss things before Johan gets back. He's well-intentioned but doesn't know what he's doing. Hurry. Eric gave me a weary glance. I could tell just from that look he had seen much in his career.